Oh boy. Well, I will say this, it at least fixed a lot of the problems of F9, right? F9, that went way too crazy, and thought that if acknowledged the lazy writing, that it excused it. That was a huge problem. That's why it was probably one of the worst in the franchise. But this one does not go super crazy, at least not to the level of F9. This is a little bit more of a return to form. It brings back what we love about the franchise. Car chases and stunts. It doesn't go too far with it. It feels very much in line with F5, F6, F7. And it has awesome villains, right? Jason Momoa is probably the best villain in this franchise since Jason Statham. He doesn't just chew the scenery in every scene he's in. He makes a meal out of it. He is so fun to watch. He's a fantastic, fantastic villain in this. And unlike a lot of other movie villains these days, they don't give him this sympathetic backstory. They keep him legitimately evil. They make him irredeemable, and you love to root against him. He's everything that a movie villain should be. Unfortunately, he is the only interesting new character in this movie. Now, John Cena, he returns to the franchise, and while his performance isn't bad, it's clear that his role in the script was clearly written for The Rock. And all I could think during those scenes was, man, I miss The Rock. These scenes would have been so much better if you had swapped out John Cena for The Rock. He would have brought so much more charisma to this than John Cena does. Because John Cena in this just feels like a diet soda version of The Rock. Now, another issue from the previous movies that this one fixes is that people do get hurt in this movie. In F9, and even I'd say the last few previous films, everybody had plot armor. Here it feels like there is at least some groundedness. I mean, there's still crazy stunts that clearly would not happen, and they clearly would delayed, but people get seriously injured. People get rushed to the hospital. People may or may not be dead. You know, there's things that happen to people that go, okay, yeah, there's some actual serious injuries happening in these movies. Thank goodness. You know, nobody has plot armor in this. So the stunts, of course, they're still awesome, as is the action, but my biggest issue is the ending, which I will rant about in just a minute. But for those of you who don't want spoilers, I'm just going to give you my score of the movie real quick. FX for me gets a B, 8 out of 10, and a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So that's it for the non-spoiler. Here's the spoiler section. Click out if you don't want spoilers. Okay, so let's talk about the frustrating ending. This is the first movie in the franchise that does not wrap everything up with a neat little bow. This one ends on a cliffhanger, which, under normal circumstances, okay, that would be a pretty big choice. Unfortunately, that cliffhanger is supposedly killing off Vin Diesel. Now, this movie is trying to be more important than it is. It's trying to give us an Infinity War or Empire Strikes Back type ending where they think, oh, if we do this, people are going to be talking about this ending for the next, 2 years or however long it's going to take for the next movie to come out, because that doesn't have a release date yet. If we do that, people are going to be theorizing about all this stuff. But the problem is, you killed off Vin Diesel. He's the main character. These movies are his baby. This is all the man has. Anytime he tries to do anything other than Fast and Furious, except for Guardians of the Galaxy, which is done anyway, he's not coming back as Groot. Anytime he tries to do something other than Fast and Furious, it fails. He tried doing a superhero movie called Bloodshot a couple of years ago, and yeah, part of that was because it came out in 2020, but even if it had come out during a normal year, it still wasn't very well received. So even if it had had a better run in theaters than it did, other than, those 2 or 3 weeks that it did before everything shut down, I still think it would have bombed. I enjoyed it, but I don't see it becoming a franchise, even if it had been released during a normal year. Fast and Furious is all he has left. They're not going to kill him off. Let's say that the next one is the rest of the characters trying to avenge him. By the end of that movie, he's going to come back. They're going to fake out death. The whole movie's going to be them hunting down Jason Momoa to avenge Vin Diesel. But by the end of that movie, he's going to come back. That's going to be in the post-credits scene or whatever. And not only that, but no one ever stays dead in this franchise anyway, except for Paul Walker, but that's because he died in real life. Whenever you kill off another character, they don't stay dead. They kill off Michelle Rodriguez. They brought her back a couple movies later. And then it's funny because 30 seconds after they kill off Vin Diesel, they bring back Gal Gadot, who died 4 movies ago. So even she's not dead. So therefore, nobody stays dead in these movies. Therefore, there are no stakes. So, this franchise is going to keep continuing until Vin Diesel either retires, gets tired of doing it, or dies in real life. So, there's no stakes when you keep bringing back characters who you killed off. So, I don't know. It tries to be really self-important with the ending, and that's what frustrated me, is this does not need to be a part 1. It should have been a self-contained movie. But because of that ending, it makes me think, yeah, you're trying to be a little bit too self-important here. You think you're more important than you are. You are Fast and Furious 10. Technically 11 if you count Hobbs and Shaw. You don't need to be trying this hard, guys. Come on. And yeah, anyway. And I mean, it's funny because this franchise has sort of become like the fallback project for the DCEU actors, since the DCEU is pretty much dead. Because Wonder Woman 3, that's not happening. Therefore, we have to bring back Gal Gadot at the end of this one because she's not getting work right now. And then, of course, Aquaman 2, we all know that one's not going to turn out very well because no one's going to see it because Amber Heard's in it. So we need to bring Jason Momoa into this and have him be the villain for the next couple of movies. Black Adam bombed. We need to bring The Rock back in the post-credit scene to have him be in the next one. So I wouldn't be surprised if the next Fast and Furious movie brings in Zachary Levi or Margot Robbie or Henry Cavill or somebody from those who like still need the work because their franchises aren't continuing anymore. Anyway, I just found the ending to this movie really frustrating because it's trying to be more shocking than it deserves. Those are my thoughts. I still enjoyed it. I still thought it was fun. Just the ending, very frustrating.